All right, guys, it's Ross here, and welcome to the Facebook for Real Estate training. This is something that we're kind of piggybacking with our Audio course, and it's our 2013 version, and it is the kind of the practical steps that we use every day. So there's no fluff, there's no theory in this. Just do exactly these steps, and this is basically a step-by-step guide, and you will be successful with Facebook marketing. And today we're going to cover Facebook groups, and I'm going to say up front that I think that Facebook groups are the single most powerful free, and I use the word free very boldly there, free marketing tool or feature that Facebook gives you. Now with Facebook you can certainly use ads now. They're fantastic. I highly recommend you get on the Facebook ads bandwagon, and in previous trainings I've shown you how to do that very cheaply. But if you want to stay in the free side of things, then the best tool is unquestionably Facebook groups, and I'll show you what that looks like right now. And as I said, it does kind of piggyback with the audio training and makes it pretty simple. This is what it looks like for today. I'm going to just quickly do a quick overview of groups. I'm going to talk about why groups are fantastic community forums. There is a race, so there's definitely a time element here that you have to be very aware of. If you don't get there first, someone will beat you to it. I'll show you how to set up the group settings to optimize it. That stuff's really, really quick, right? Then I want to show you what kind of content to post to get everything going, to get people engaged, to moderate, all right, to collaborate, i.e. to get other people to do all the work for you. I'm going to show you then the most powerful features, what you can do with these groups. I'm going to show you how to add all your friends. I'm going to show you how to get your friends and other members to add all their friends. I'm going to show you how to grow a Facebook group into thousands and thousands of people in an extremely short period of time. So you can do this from scratch. So if you know nothing about groups today, or you've been tinkering with groups so far and haven't really applied yourself to it, this is your opportunity to make everything happen, okay? So this is your opportunity to do it now. All right, so first of all, guys, please add me as a friend. So you go to facebook.com/Ross. This is a picture of my profile. Please add me a friend or hit the follow button, and I'm going to quickly jump out here and just show you on my personal profile. I'd also like you to do one thing for me today, and that thing is, could you please just answer this one question for me on my profile, which is, who has worked with auction.com? So facebook.com/Ross here. I'm doing a lot of work with auction.com. They just hired me as a brand ambassador, and one of the things I want to find out is what the industry feels about them. I obviously see a tremendous opportunity there, and I'm hoping that you'll see that same opportunity. But at the same time, yeah, I'm getting a lot of varied feedback. So if you could please just drop into that comment box and say yes or no. And if you say yes, please tell me kind of what your experience there was. I'd really, really appreciate that. All right, guys, thanks. All right, let's get back into the PowerPoint presentation. All right. Oh, and the second thing is we're also going to launch a group today. So I'm going to add people into the group. I'll show you how easy it is to do. That is where the group is located. It's actually going to be a secret group. So it's facebook.com/groups. So that's how all groups are, their URL, and then REM Camp is going to be the end of it there. I'm going to make this a secret group, and I'm going to add people who attend REM camps. Of course, I can add you if you're a friend of mine. I cannot add you if you're not a friend, but that's where it'll be. I've made it a closed group for now, so you can actually apply to join. So if you write down that address, you can actually apply to join, and I can approve it. Anyone who applies, in the next hour, I will definitely approve. After that, it'll be a secret group, and no one will be able to see it except us. Okay, and the recordings, like I said, are at remcamp.com. There's some information there. If you're a member, they're there. If you're not a member, there's a huge discount to join. All right, let's get in here. All right, so Eli, definitely we can start the recording right here on Facebook groups. All right, so remember what I told you last week. Friends are the building blocks of social media. So I told you go out and make a huge friend list. Get 5,000 friends. Try and get 5 people a day. Pretty soon you'll have 5,000 friends, particularly because you'll hit that tipping point where people will start to send you friend requests, right? I also told you that Facebook is a popularity contest. So the more friends you have, it's so much easier to be a social networker when you have more friends, because Facebook in particular gives you these incredible viral tools that you can use, right? And one of those tools, of course, is it gives you the use of groups. And groups have tremendous, tremendous power. And what I like about them the most is that it's basically a mass email list. So when you post something in a group, it actually goes to all the members subject to how they have customized the notification list, right? But there are also little backdoor ways where you can send messages to groups by having things like events, adding documents, changing certain things about the group. So there's all these ways to communicate constantly with your members. So it's a mass email list. And when you're talking about connecting with thousands of people in your local area, you have to be able to mass communicate. So for me, one of the tenets of social media marketing, and that is it's great to engage and it's great to do all the conversations and that kind of stuff, but you also have to be able to mass communicate so you can reach so many more people and take advantage of the viral nature of Facebook, right? So there's a mass email list. But here's the real key about all these friends that you made, is you can add your Facebook friends to groups. And the only proviso that's subject to how they put their settings that may prevent people from adding them to groups. Most people don't. Okay, so you can add your Facebook friends to groups. So that means you can set up a group, and once you've set up the group, you can go and you can add your friends. So two things there. Number one, you have to set up the group. Well, three things. You have to set up the group. Number two, you have to be friends with the person in order to add them. Okay, pretty simple. All right, so I've even done what number three is. But and number three is it's not an invitation. You're actually adding them. They then have the option to opt out of the group, but you can put them in. So they don't have to accept it. That's what makes it so powerful. But here's the real thing about groups that I want you to just emblazon in your head. Not just you, but members can also add all their friends. Okay, so just think about this right now, and this has to be your aha moment. If I can add my 5,000 friends, and let's say I've got 5 friends who also have 5,000 people, they can add all their friends. That means we've got a group of 25 to 30,000 people, which can literally happen in just a few days, as quick as it takes to add them. All right, so how crazy is that? That is the crazy thing about groups. And you can launch a group with fanfare, and you can do all this incredible stuff, and you can highly target your friends of local individuals or local prospects you've been adding on an ongoing basis, and you can build these incredible groups. And the cool thing is you can get other people to build them for you, and the even better thing is you can get other people to run them and add content and do everything, and you literally just sit on top of that food chain looking good with authority and leadership and everything that goes with it. So there it is right there. So if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. And you can do it today regardless of what you know about groups right now. Now in 30 minutes time you'll know a lot more about groups. You can start from scratch right now. So how crazy is that, right? And here's the best thing. Nobody even knows what's going on. Okay? Okay, so nobody even knows what's going on. So if you go out and you do some research on Facebook groups, nobody talks about this. Nobody is doing this. And I've been talking about it for years now, like almost 2 years at least, and people just aren't doing it, and I don't know why, because it's so incredibly powerful. All right, so I think it's the most powerful feature available in social media right now. Now, some quick dangers is that anybody can send a message to the group. So any member, when they post to the group, they can send a message to everybody. Now, that's very dangerous for you because, A, it opens you up to people spamming your group. It opens you up to people chasing your group away because one mistake and people are gone. So one person comes in and spams the group, boom, they're gone. So let's just say one person comes in and says something that is just, says something political, and particularly around the current president. And it is going to alienate half the group members for sure, and they will be gone. And you get around issues like gun control or fracking, or it doesn't matter. If it's controversial, half the people will go. In fact, if you even put something up there about Tim Tebow, half the people will leave, right? Okay, and the other thing is that if you make somebody an administrator of your group, they can take you out of the group. You do not want that to happen. Okay, so, and there's advantages to making people administrators. I'm going to say to you, don't do it unless you absolutely, absolutely trust that person. Okay, so the types of groups you can set up are pretty simple. So you just go in, you set up a group, and I'm not going to show you how to do this basic one-on-one stuff, but you set up a group, and that group is really about interests and activities and location. So your groups are going to fit into one of those kind of three categories. So an interest group, as an example, would be something like the real estate professional groups. So we've got a whole bunch of them on Facebook right now, like Tech Savvy Agent and Tech for Real Estate and Raise the Bar in Real Estate. This is a picture of Michael McClure's group at Raise the Bar in Real Estate. You can see that over there. It's a vibrant group. It's a trade group with 3,300 members. There's a lot of activity in there. It's, it's a pretty cool group, right? Now it has its advantages and disadvantages, particularly with its size, okay? But that's where it is. So you can go and you can set one up. So I set one up at facebook.com/REM camps. Let me quickly give you that address. There it is right there. So facebook.com/groups/REM camps. Some people ask that question. I've set one up there, and it's going to be for people who attend REM camp. It's going to be our real estate marketing, and I'm going to control it very, very strictly when it comes to, I hate the snark and I hate the trolling that happens in some of these groups. I just won't stand for it, okay? That's going to be our secret group. So that's what you can do with them. You can set up these interest groups. So you can do that for other real estate groups, people in your area. You can do it for, if you have a target market, which is that you're getting a lot of work from the local yacht club or the golf club, or you're getting a lot of work from doctors or dentists or other professionals like that, you can, or even from a large employer, you can set up a Facebook group for that particular interest, which is phenomenal, right? So if you're getting, like I said, a lot of work from doctors, and you have the special a kind of product where you found some great financing for the doctors, and you're putting them into houses and changing things around, and that you can definitely set up a group for them, and it's very, very powerful. Of course, you can do it for things like HOAs and that kind of stuff as well. But the one that I really like is I like to set up stuff based on location. So what I like to set up, and I call it the Aulia way, is local-based groups. So in particular, I want to set up a group for my town. If my town's too big, I want to set it up for my neighborhood. You can set it up for a subdivision that has a strong HOA in there. You can set it up on any of those levels. And so what I'm going to focus today is on showing you how to set it up a group for a local area, to basically pitch it as a community forum, because there's tremendous engagement within these groups. Groups are so much better than pages when it comes to engagement, by the way. So I want to set it up as that. I want to set it up on a location-based area. So it's going to be on my local area. Like I said, it can be a neighborhood if you're in a big city. If you're in Pittsburgh, there's no point setting up a forum for Pittsburgh. Set one up for the neighborhoods that you market to. Right? And I want to get people in there. And I want to set it up as a community chat room. All right, so just as Colette Stevenson did, she's from Hilton Head Island, she's basically setting up and she's inviting all her HHI friends into the group. Locals are the key to keeping the island the best. All right, so it's intimate, it's local, it's conversational, and it's real. It's all of those things. It's very authentic, and people respond to it in a very, very positive manner. Okay, so that's the starting point on that. The other thing about that is what we've noticed with pages is that people are becoming invisible on pages. So when you post on a page, what happens is that Facebook pushes it over to the right-hand side of this page and it says recent posts by others. So for example, this is my page for my little town of Niwot, Colorado, and you can see it kind of gets dumped over here on the right-hand side. It really, you just don't get to see what you need to see. Whereas on groups, you have that visibility. It's that old forum style where the latest posts go to the top. Okay, and people are very much, very more interactive and that kind of stuff. And then what these groups will do for you is they will create authority for you, they will create trust, and they will create leadership. So people will see you as a community leader. Now, isn't that exactly what you've been trying to achieve all these years in your real estate business? And if they see you as that community leader and that they will see you have that authority, right? And the way they see that is because they can see you, there's your name, you're the first person that appears in the group. When they go to the About section, they see you, they know what you do, they can read your profile, your face is highly visible to them all the time. And what, of course, that does is it creates that trust that you're looking for. And, of course, trust is going to turn into business. Right? So that's the power of the group. You can literally, from scratch, build a raving, raging group full of raving members, and you can do it inside a week. So literally in 1 week from now, and that I'm expecting somebody to come back to me and tell me that they've set up a group that now has thousands of people in it. And guess what will happen when that happens? They'll all know you, and everyone will start to seek you out. All right, so here's the golden rule, though. You have to understand something very, very clearly about groups. You have to focus on the community. This cannot be a place for you to tell everybody about real estate and how you love referrals and how you've got a new listing and all that kind of stuff. That will happen naturally in the flow of the group, particularly when it becomes more mature and the conversation is generated. If you start this group out and it looks like it's just this place for you to pitch your real estate, nobody will join it. So you have to put yourself in the shoes of your community, right? And you have to focus on what it is that they want. And here's the great news. They'll tell you. All you have to do is ask them. Okay? They'll tell you everything that you need to know. They will do all the content. They will keep this group going for you. You've got to get it started. You've just got to pitch them things that they want initially, put that initial content in so you're going to seed it, and you've got to moderate it. And once that happens, it'll take off. And you will have to do so much less of the work. All right, so now what I'm going to tell you now is it's a race. So here's what I think, is I think that there can be only one. I think that people will only really join one main local group. Okay. And I think it's because we all have this, this bandwidth, what we can do online, and we're quite happy getting our information from one place. So we're quite happy to get our information. If there's 2 large newspapers in town, we're going to probably read one of them. If there's 10 radio stations in town, we're probably going to listen to one of them, right? I think it's going to be the same thing with community forums. There's really going to be one that's going to completely dominate everything. Here's the good news. Hardly anybody is doing it. Those that are doing incredibly well, but hardly anybody is doing it. You are in a race to get there first. That's my personal belief. Okay. When you look around at groups, there's these small groups floating around, and this is just a screenshot of some groups that I took in the Boulder area. Okay, I will show some groups, by the way, in a moment. Okay, so it's there. Look, obviously when you add people in, you've got to be selective as well. Be careful who you add into a group. Don't bring somebody who's going to disrupt your group. I mean, you know who those people are, if they're your friends already. But the groups, there's very little competition, right? So like the Boulder Yacht Club, 75 members, all these little groups here. But if you go to pages, look, it's like 50,000 people. There's 200,000 plus people who like the Austin 365 things to do page now, right? Okay, so it's been crazy. All right, so that's all pretty simple, right? So if you go in here and you look at the group settings, here's what I want you to look at. And I will take you into a group in a moment, just so you know. I just want to run through this kind of basic stuff so that we don't kind of get bogged down in the one-on-one stuff. So when you go and you set up a group, you'll set up a group from your private profile. You'll have one of the options on the left-hand side will be to add a group. You add a group and you can set up the group settings, and it'll end up looking just like this, right? So as an example, this is a screenshot of Rob and Crook's Kenosha Community Forum. All right. Over here is where the settings page is, so you can always check in what the settings in, and you can go in here and you can edit your group, or when you set it up, it'll actually take you through a little setup template. But effectively, what the group's going to end up looking at is kind of like this. So this is the way that I set up groups, and I want you to see what it looks like. So first of all, I give it the group a name. You can change this pin, by the way. There's a couple of little templates or icons there you can use. I like to use the community forum kind of thing. So this is the Kenosha Community Forum. So with the Alio program, we set up community forums for every single Alio member. So we have about 500 of them out there. I know that because I think that's the limit of groups that you can be in, and I'm kind of at the limit there. And the way we set the privacy on the group is we set it to a closed group. So in terms of that, anyone can see the group and who's in it, but only members see the posts. So the reason that that's important is I don't want an open group because I don't want to risk somebody coming in and spamming my group, number one. Okay, I want to carefully control who's brought into the group. So if I see somebody who's obviously a spammer, I'm not going to let them into the group. So number one, it's a closed group. But I do want it to be closed as opposed to secret because I want other people in the area to be able to see it and apply to join it. Okay, so that's the difference. You can have an open, closed, or secret group. I keep mine at closed so I can control it, but I don't go to secret because I want visibility. Okay, that's the main difference there. Then the membership is approval. I let any member can add or approve a member, but the way that I set that is that I go in, so no, sorry, we set this here as an experiment. When you begin, I want you to set any member can add members, but an admin must approve them. All right, and I meant to kind of show you that there. At the beginning, I don't want you to set it up like that, as any member can add or approve members. I want members to be able to add members, but I want you to be able to approve them at the beginning, because I want you to stay in control of this group and what's happening in this group. You can then set an email address, and I set this email address up as mykenosha@groups.facebook.com, which means you could send an email to this address and it will repost it directly into the group, which is great. So it's particularly easy just to drop an email into something and drop it into the group. So if somebody sends you some kind of alert about what's something that's happening in your local town and it comes to you as an email, you can just forward it onto the group. Then what happens as well is you get a chance to put a description in here, and you also want the email to be somewhat memorable. The ad address is always groups.facebook.com, and then try and use something that's going to be easy for people to remember. I could have used Kenosha Community Forum at groups.facebook.com, or I could have just used Kenosha. Of course, it wasn't available. These email addresses are unique, so they go pretty quickly, right? And then under description, this is Robin's description: a community forum for Kenosha. You're welcome to post community news and events plus interesting news about your business. All right. Please, no sales pitches, politics, or bad manners. And that's kind of the rules that we have for the group. We want to moderate it at all time. And then the posting permission is only members can post in the group. So we let any member, once they're a member, post in the group. So the only thing I want you to do different is over here at the beginning, just start to approve people at the beginning. Okay, so it's not too complicated, right? And when you set up your unique address and your email address, it actually gives you a unique URL. So you can see it's facebook.com/groups, which is standard for all groups, and then my Kenosha. I like to capitalize the M and the K if it's two words so that it stands out pretty easily. This makes it easy for people to find the group. Notice it's the same as the email address. So once you set it, it gives you the email address and it gives you the unique username for the group or the unique URL. And then also, of course, you can include this in any emails, or you can include links to this group, etc., by having a much more memorable group name. Okay? So that's quick and easy, right, on the setup. So those are just, there's some key points there, but it's quick and it's easy. So let's talk about how you run these groups now. So you've set it up. Right, you've got it all going. Now you want to get some content in here. Now I want you to put content in before you put people in. So I want you to do it in this order. So when they arrive in the group, it's not this blank screen. They arrive and they can see instantly, oh yeah, I can see what this group's about. This sounds good, right? So you put the content in. And I just want you to remember that when you add content, just remember these points. The group posts are basically bulk mailers. So when you put content in, everybody in the group can see that content. It's sent to them basically as an email. I also want you to just take this little note that the chat feature is also very powerful in groups. So you can actually message people in the group and you can add multiple people into that message. I just want you to make a note of that. And if I remember, I'll show you exactly how to do it. But I wanted you to remember these two things about what content you use and what you do. So when you start off, I want you to tell people why. All right? Why? What's this group about? Why have you added them to the group? And I think Colette just says it perfectly. He says, I'm inviting all my Hilton Head Island friends into the group. Locals are the key to keeping this island the best. It's a friendly, warm invitation. It tells people what the group's about pretty quickly, okay? And it gives that sense of community straight away. And again, the key is it's her friends. So these are people that she is friends with on Facebook, right? So Facebook friends, she simply added them in. And you can see, here's Lorette, count me in. Here's Brad McDonald, Dude, this is a great idea. Although I don't know why he would be calling Colette Dude. Anyway, all right. You can pin posts now. So you can take that post, and if you look on the post, there's a little, if you are the administrator, you're the only one who can pin it. There's a little tab on the side of the post over here. You just click on this little tab. I can't see it here because I'm not the administrator of this page. This is Linda Davis' page. But if you look in here, you can see this little tab over here. You just click it and you can pin the post to the top. All right, so if you want to, A, put a rule in for people when they join, or B, you want to promote something, okay? Now think about that. You can promote an event, all right? You can promote a small local business. You can promote something that's happening locally. You can use the space. You can basically barter the space with somebody who does something for you. So as an example, you could do a joint promotion with a local business where if they invite all their friends into the group, you will promote their Sunday lunch, as an example. Say it's a local restaurant. Or if it's a local insurance broker, if they invite all their friends to this group, all right, then you'll go ahead and you will, promote something that they're doing or they're sponsoring. All right, you see, so this is very, very valuable real estate right here. You can leverage this real estate by pinning posts to the top. Okay, that is a very, very powerful feature. Okay. At the beginning, I want you to pin posts about the forum, why it's there, and welcoming people to the forum, okay, and encouraging them to engage. I want you to keep it very, very simple and easy at the beginning. So when you're posting content, just keep it easy, right? So if there's something in town like a problem with potholes, right, make sure you answer the questions. If somebody asks that kind of question, answer the question, send them to the town's official website, help them. For example, here, this guy, John, is basically given the superintendent, the highway superintendent's details. People will start to interact like this. So keep making sure you post these simple questions all the time, all right? And when I say simple questions, you can ask about when the high school game is on. You can ask about, as an example, we had a movie was shot in our little town very recently. It would be really, really easy to post information about when's the movie shooting, who will be here, does anyone have any cool photos, and people can add their photos. Or you can say here, hey, let's create a little gallery of pictures here. Please add your photos if you took any good ones of the movie shoot, right? And it can be of any event, it can be of anything. So these are simple, everyday conversations that you're going to add in here. You don't have to create these, these incredible working documents and post really sophisticated questions. It's just simple stuff that people can answer. Make it easy for them to answer it, right? Go out there and ask for recommendations. So take a look here. Here's Jennifer Freeman. She's gone out. She says anyone can recommend any pet sitting services, right? So here we go. There's a recommendation, ABC Pet Sitters. Here's Candy and Cozy Critters. See how easy it is to answer these questions? If someone's used a pet sitter, they can do it. If you want to know, if you need a pet sitter, this is exactly where you'd ask that question, and this is where you would answer. But here's what's really cool as well, is that if somebody comes in here and recommends ABC Pet Sitters as an example, it is now incredibly easy for you to reach out to AB Pet Sitters. Say they've got a page on Facebook, and get them to come and join this group, all right? So you can invite them to join this group, okay? And why would they want to do it? Because you can say, hey, there's some people in the group have been asking some questions about your business. I think you should join the group and answer them. It's that simple, right? Okay, so do you see that? Pretty cool, right? So you see the function it's doing? It's serving as a great little community forum for people to share information, ask questions, get answers. Now, how hard is it to do that? I mean, honestly, you can set this up today. You can get this going today. You can add people today. You can have this thing absolutely explode in size very, very quickly. And I'll tell you the one thing that really, really works around these groups, and we've seen it time and again. Anytime there's an issue or an event, people get very, very involved, and the groups just explode. So as an example, we had the hurricane that went up the East Coast, and Sharon McNamara, who has all these great groups for like Pembroke and Boston, and the areas around there, everything, they got hit pretty hard. They got flooded, and people were coming to her for information. They were coming into the groups and they were saying, when will the schools be open? When will the power be back on? When can I get back to my house? That kind of stuff. I mean, this is obviously an emergency situation, but they were turning to the groups for information. Where's the shelter? Where can I take my animals for safekeeping? All those very, very important questions. They were coming to the Facebook group to get these questions. And I wish I'd put a copy of the letters, some of the letters that Sharon got from people thanking her for everything that she had done for the community. So you can imagine, we take something like the Boston Marathon bombings. All right, people want information around that. Okay, whenever there's any kind of natural disaster, people want information, but they also get heated about things like fracking. Like, I'm in Boulder County, Colorado. We've just put a 1-year moratorium on fracking. Right? It is an incredibly heated conversation. You can just see if you do a Google search, all the stuff that comes up. All the newspapers are covering it daily now. Right? The protests are happening. It's an incredibly strong forum where you can get people to ask about it. Now remember, these issues are sensitive, so you have to pitch yourself as the moderator of these issues. And I advise you to not take a stand unless you're willing to alienate a significant section of the population. The questions you should be asking is that what do you think about the fracking issue in Boulder County? All right, so it's you asking the questions and being the moderator around that. And you'll see that the conversation will get very, very heated. I remember Leslie Lambert for Westfield put something out about casinos, right? So people are like, there's a casino coming to town. And how does that feel? In Colorado, it's about medical marijuana. Now that it's not even medical anymore, it's recreational. I think that an ounce is legal now, right? But people don't want, in my town, people don't want a medical marijuana dispensary opening up. They feel very strongly about that, right? And so you're going to get these kind of issues. If you just chuck those issues out and you act as the moderator, you do not take a side, you will immediately engage a lot of content. And if you can think of anything else, just write it in the box there. I promise you there are a lot of things that are incredibly stuff. All right, so sound is moving in and out a little bit. All right. And that you can use a program like Hootsuite to manage the conversations and watch the groups, that kind of stuff. I'm not even 100% you can see groups in there, but they're definitely, if not Hootsuite, there are other stuff that you can use. But generally speaking, your groups will be on the left-hand side of your home page, and that if you're not in a lot of groups, it's pretty easy to follow. Okay, so here's one of the keys that I want to give you right now that you have to understand very, very clearly. Okay, you absolutely have to moderate, moderate, moderate. If you lose control of this group, people will turn the switch off or the notifications off, or they will leave the group. Okay, so they will either turn their notifications off or they will leave the group. And all it takes is one mistake and they're gone. Okay, so don't let people use it as a sales pitch. You can encourage local businesses to come in, all right, and tell you and put relevant information in there, all right, so helpful information in there. Or you can maybe do a deal with somebody, maybe when I say deal, maybe they offer a coupon or something like that, right? So you can maybe get them to promote that. Again, remember, you can always leverage that and trade it off for them promoting the group as an example, or inviting people to like your pages, doing that kind of stuff, all right? But don't let people sell in there, all right? You can let gentle promotion. Definitely don't let any politics in there. You'll lose half your membership. That's basically a guarantee. And if anybody's rude in there, just stop it. Just don't allow people to be rude inside your groups. No bad manners, no trolling, no snarkiness, no personal attacks, that kind of stuff. If somebody has an issue with somebody else, they can have that issue. They're just not having it in the group. Okay? It's pretty simple. All right, so that's not too hard to do, right? You can also kick anybody out of the group. So if somebody is doing stuff you don't like, you can just kick them out. And that applies to your competitors as well. If you set this group up and another agent comes in and starts to market themselves inside the group, it's time to say goodbye to that agent. Hopefully that agent will have invited all their friends in first, so you're now connected to all their clients. But so initially have no problem letting agents in. If they're active and they're going to help the group, I don't have any problem with it at all. If they take that one step too far, I'll gently let them know that this is your group. It's not for them to market inside the group. And if they don't heed that, then of course you're going to throw them out. Now the flip side of this, of course, is that when you end up with this group with thousands of people in, all right, you're going to be able to show this to your clients. So the next time you go to a listing presentation, you're going to be able to say, hey, this is my group. I control what happens in this group. I can get a message out to the thousands of people in this group who all live in this local area about this property. So you can see the incredible value that you have about the group right there. So you can use it as part of your listing presentation. The flip side of that, of course, is you can get that message out to everybody, particularly once the group is settled down and it's a little bit more mature. You can talk about your listings within the group. You just have to do it in a careful way. So as an example, if you go out, you can say, here's my listing at such and such a place. There's a different way to do it is you can say, hey, we just did a complete front yard re-landscaping for this house that we're going to sell at such and such address. What do you think of the makeover or the landscaping makeover? So what's happening there is you're getting people to interact with it, but at the same time, you're letting them know that you're a real estate broker, right? You're letting them know that you have a listing, and that's this listing, and look at all these great pictures of my listing, even though you've couched it as a conversation about landscaping. Do you see the difference in how you've got to approach this? You have to appeal to people's interests. So if you just push out something about a listing, that's going to interest a very small percentage of the people in your group. If you post out a listing about landscaping and improving it and things you can do for curb appeal, that is obviously going to appeal to most of the homeowners inside the group. And of course, once you're doing that, what are you doing? You're effectively canvassing for future work from all of them because they know you have the power to get this information out there. All right. Is it starting to come together for you guys here? All right. So to kick them out, Joanne's great question. How do you kick them out? You literally just go, you log into them, you click on there, go into the about. Oh, you know what? Let me show you. Let me show you how to kick somebody out of a group. It's pretty simple. So let's go to, see here. Let's go to Kenosha Groups / Kenosha. It was my Kenosha. Okay, I'm an administrator on this group. If I want to kick somebody out of the group, I'd go to the About. It's the easiest place to go there. And I could go on to, let's take Mark. Hey, Mark, I know he's on the call. I can either make him an administrator or I can remove him from the group by clicking on that little star below his name. Okay, and then you'll see what happens in the groups. I'm an administrator. Robin's an administrator. We're the two administrators inside this group. Okay, and what happens is when you turn onto the page, look who you see first. You see Robin and I all the time. Everybody knows who we are, what we do. So you can see my name. It clicks through. There's a link that goes all the way through to me, what I do. So here's Mark Benson. So if this was Mark's group, it would say Mark Benson, Realtor in Naples, Florida at Keller Williams Realty. All right, if I click over there, it tells me all I need to know about Mark. Okay, pretty simple. And the other thing about it is, see, remember I told you could message? Well, you hit that message button over there. As I can message Mark. Okay, and look what else. I can add other group members in. Let's add another group. Let me add Robin in. I just wanted to show you how quickly you can set up a small kind of little network of people that you can speak to, about 10 people, right? I can add people in real quickly. Let's add Scott. See, Scott's a member of the group. Where's there we go. There's Scott. So there's Scott over there, and Who else do I want to add? So quickly I can set up a group discussion real quick by just adding other people in. I want to just show you that nobody really uses that feature. It's a great way to instantly contact people because it pops up as chat. All right, isn't that powerful? Okay. All right, so let's jump back. So you can kick people out of the group. What's next? All right, so here's what you need to do within the group. But remember at the beginning I told you to moderate. So it's going to take you some time at the beginning, but you'll be able to remove yourself from this position as other people will step into that role future. So acknowledge all posts and comments. Live in that comment stream. I think Chris Smith said it kind of really makes sense. Live in the comment stream. It's because what happens is that every time you comment, that comment is shared with everybody, which is great. Okay, try and extend the conversation at the beginning. Ask questions. All right, so here's a great question by Leslie again. Somehow I didn't see that a microbrew opened in town. Has anyone tried it? All right, that's such an easy question to answer, right? And we have a little microbrew in our town. It's called the Bootstrap Brewery, and I can tell you that people love it, right? It feels like it's theirs. We're a little town, so it's almost like we own it, right? And here's the best thing about it. You ask anybody what their favorite beer is, my goodness. I mean, they make about 10 beers there, all microbrews, and I can tell you that everybody has a very firm opinion about what the best beer is and why. They'll fill up pages and pages of conversation. So extend that conversation. So if somebody says something, answer them and pose another question in there. Get people talking in there. And the next thing I want you to do is I want you to start to get people to collaborate within the group. Now, the best place for collaboration is if you look within the group, there's a file section right up here where you can create files. So you can create documents or you can upload documents, and you can create tremendous collaboration in there. So you can start to create lists of people. You can get local businesses to add their names to a directory of local businesses. Right? So A, that means they need to join the group. B, they have to participate in the group. And C, they get to add their name into this local directory. Or you can create a recommended list, and you can allow people to recommend people that they've worked with, right? So almost like a little mini Yelp in here. You can get people to collaborate on what you think should happen, right? So you can definitely start to create these initiatives around there. So as an example, for my local town, we have, we're in unincorporated Boulder County, and the Boulder County Commissioners have not repaired our roads, our subdivision roads, for a significant period of time, and have now decided that they're going to effectively levy a tax against it. And the reason for that is they just don't have the money to repair the roads, right? But they've done it in a very sneaky way. And so what's happening is that the local community is rallying against this, right? So we don't want to add $600 a year of taxation onto our property taxes, right? So this is a perfect place to collaborate that kind of response, right? To collaborate an answer to it. So all you've got to do is find an issue or an event or an opportunity and create this collaboration around it. Okay? On an HOA, this is where you could file HOA meetings. So any questions for the HOA, any outstanding issues, you could put it in there. All right, so it's pretty easy to do. For a neighborhood event, so the 4th of July parade, we could set up stuff for volunteers to come forward and to collaborate on. Or we could set up stuff for people to take pictures of the town and add them into this document, right? So it's pretty cool. What I want to say is at the beginning, just suspend real estate, don't even talk about it. And that's, I'm not picking on Roy here, and that Roy's a great guy. So Roy came in when we started up this group, and the first thing that Roy did was he posted a Realtor National Open House weekend stuff here. So what happens is if somebody comes in to from the group that you've invited and they see this, they're going to see this basically as a forum for you to promote yourself, and they're going to leave. So at the beginning, forget about real estate. Don't worry about people knowing that you're in real estate. Remember I showed you if they hover over your picture, they can see exactly who you are and what you do. You're always at the forefront. You're always in their face. You have this tremendous branding and exposure, so don't worry about that at all. At the beginning, don't talk about real estate. I want this to be a community forum for the community. If you set up a group for a particular interest group like the yacht club, or for accountants in town, or dentists in town, or any other professional group, make it about them. Don't make it about the real estate that you want to sell to them. All right, now we get to kind of the real magic of groups. And I'm flying through this. I'm going through it quickly, but I think I'm just hitting the points one after the other for you. Like I said, no fluff or theory in here. Just do these exact steps. You add friends to groups. So if you have gone out and made 5,000 friends, like I have, you can simply add them to the group. So I can literally take the new REM groups that I've set up. I could take my 5,000 friends and I can add them to the group in one day, and I'll have thousands and thousands of group members in there right from the beginning. Okay? It's just going to take me some time to do it one by one. That's the only problem with that. Having said that, I just found a script that will automatically add everybody. I haven't tested it out, but if you always look online, there's always these crazy scripts out there, and I just found one. Okay, so add friends to groups. It's easy to do. All right, the key, again, I've just taken a screenshot for you, is you can add people to groups. Those people have to be your friends. You can also invite them by email. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just quickly log out, and I'm going to show you how simple it is. Let's go back into the Kenosha forum. 243 members. Add people to group. So if I just go in and I go, let's just start here. All right, Michael McClure is a friend of mine on Facebook. I simply click on him. They would add him to the group. Wonder Mills, you can see I can literally add everybody one by one to the group, and the moment that I add them, they will automatically become members of the group, subject to their settings. So if their settings prevent me from adding them to the group, then all that will happen is I won't be able to pick their name up there. All right, so that's number one. Number two is I can add people to the group who requested to join. So because this is a closed group, all right, if we look at the settings on this group, I'll go quickly back to the settings for you. You can see that this is a closed group, so people can see the group. It has that visibility. Okay, so there's a closed group. All right, so if I just quickly go back, people will start to apply to join. So what will happen is people in your local area will start to join, and I can literally just go in and add them to the group. So I could add Nancy Stewart to the group right now. Really easy to do. Okay, so there's no rocket science there. The key is I can simply put them in the group. It's not an invitation. They are in. If I invite by email, so if you have somebody's email address, that is an invitation that they will have to accept. That means I can invite people who are not my friends to join the group. So that's kind of like a, one step further along. It does require, it's a two-step process. I send them the invite, they need to accept it. Okay, so that's that process. All right, so it's really, really simple to do. Okay. You don't receive notifications on when people leave and when they turn off notifications and that kind of stuff. Yeah. All right, so it's there. So in terms of the size of the group, I think this is very important. So you can't add them one by one. All right. Can you add them? No, you can't add by bulk in terms of adding one. Let's just look at something again real quickly. I've never tried this actually. No, I don't know how you can add more than one that way. There is, however, there are scripts out there that allow you to add all your friends in one go. I've seen them. I don't think Facebook likes them, but that would allow you to add a lot of people really, really quickly. And again, only add people in the local area, right? So don't add your friends from outside the area. How does that help somebody from outside the area to join that group, right? So if you bring in your former high school friend who now lives in Albuquerque into the Kenosha group, that's really not going to work out well for that person, right? They're going to say, what the heck, why did you put me in here? Okay, it's pretty simple to do. All right, let's jump back. Okay, so just add people. like I said, the requests will start to pile up, and you can approve them by looking at their profiles and approve them. When you approve them, it is an excellent opportunity for you to send them a message at the same time. All right, because it's just a great way for you to connect. Okay, and also to send them a friend request. So remember, you can only add your friends, so keep making friends. Make sure that your friends are highly targeted local prospects. Okay. Now, one thing you will bump into is that some people may not want to be added to the group, so they'll actually get a little mad at you, right? So the way that I handle that is I just say sorry, and I just quietly remove them from the group. It's really that simple. They, of course, can take themselves out of the group, but you can, of course, remove them. If they post on the page and say, who added me to this group? I didn't approve of this. I don't like it. Simply go, click on their profile, send them a message, and say, hey, sorry about that. I've just removed you from the group, and then delete that post. It's really that simple, right? Okay, requests will start to pile up. As the group gets going, you will start finding people joining the group. I want you to moderate these requests. All right, make sure that you know who is coming into the group, and if they have no business being in the group, just hit that X button. If there's somebody that is from the local area and they look like a reasonable person who you can see immediately from their profile, hit the yes button. It's pretty simple, right? Get members to invite friends. So again, this is the magic bullet for you. Once you add people into the group, and again, it's my best tip for 2013, members can add their friends. So remember, put your settings so people can add their friends. Once you allow that, they can add all their friends. So what I want you to do is look for rainmakers and set yourself a target. Find 5 people who are very active on Facebook, who have large lists of local friends. I refer to them as rainmakers. They are generally going to be local business owners who are connected to the town. Because remember, you're in the real estate business, but I promise you, the insurance agent, the local dentist, the local supermarket owner, the local restaurants, they all want to connect to everybody locally, right? So you want to find those people. You'll also find that there'll be a lot of official groups that really want to connect locally. Local small business associations, local community organizations that exist already. Heck, you can even go in and set this up for the local community association or for the local business association. Set up a group just for them. So don't set up one for your town, just set up one just for them to moderate how members speak to each other. Right? It's a pretty easy thing to do, right? Can you start to see the possibilities here? Political organizations locally want to be connected to everybody, right? Community organizations, community activist organizations, they all want to be connected to people. You can set something up for the local high school, the Parent Teachers Association. Isn't this a perfect way for them to communicate? All right. By now, everybody's on Facebook. Right? It's just the way it is. So now just do the math one last time, like I told you before. If you have 5 rainmakers with 5,000 friends, so you add your 5,000, they add their 5,000 each, that's 30,000 people potentially in this group. Now, it won't work out like that, I can assure you. But that is the optimum potential from that amount of people. I don't even know what the limit to group sizes are, and I'm sure I've seen groups, there's groups with over 1 million people in them. Those were the old groups. Of course, ironically, the biggest group is for people who hate Facebook and don't want Facebook to change anything, etc., etc. But that's the irony about it. But you can create these huge groups. What I've found with groups, though, is that sometimes they can get way too big. If they get too big, people simply are going to leave and turn off their notifications. And so if you have a group that's too big, you really have to think about creating a smaller, more localized version of that group. So if you're in Pittsburgh and you set up a group for Pittsburgh, you really want to start setting up groups for smaller neighborhoods and even getting down to subdivisions. So as an example, we have a golf course community just down the road called Lake Valley. It is a very, geographically, it is a very identifiable geographic area. All right, people who live within that area associate themselves with that particular community. it's pretty easy for you to set something up for that community. Now, if you're doing a lot of real estate marketing in there, this is the ideal opportunity for you to meet everybody in that particular community. All right, and just remember this, people will do this because you have what they want. And what you have is you have access to the local population. So the moment that this group starts to become viable and it starts to get a lot of traffic inside it and there's a lot of conversation going on, you will see that local businesses will come to you like a pack of wolves trying to get in and trying to get involved, because they will recognize that you are now the key to local marketing. You can trade that into just about anything. So you can provide access into this group, which of course you can couple with your blogs and your pages and everything else that you're doing in return for them promoting your groups and pages, for them promoting your business, for them sending referrals to you, right? For them distributing information about you to their client lists. You can do all of this stuff. All right, it is, you basically, you hold the key to local marketing in the city, and it's free. The only other way they can get this kind of distribution is if they print out expensive flyers, if they advertise in the local newspaper, if they sponsor some local event. They just can't get it for free like this. The cost to them is that they have to give you something in return. Okay, so do you see how these steps all come together? You make lots of friends, you add them to your groups, you get the conversation going, you bring rainmakers in, and now you are sitting on top of the most powerful local marketing opportunity that we have ever seen. And it takes relatively few steps. It takes some work at the beginning, but you're able to pass that work off really pretty quickly. And I've been saying this for 2 years and nobody's doing it properly yet. I don't understand that. You can start from scratch today. All right, let me roll this off then with some quick advanced tactics of some ideas that I want you to pound around in your head, right? So take everything I've gone through up to now. That is basically your core curriculum, the step-by-step fundamentals that you've got to do. I gave you 7 steps there, right? Some of the advanced stuff that you can do is you've got to start harvesting emails out of these groups. All right, so number 1 is you can basically, within the group, you can post free information. You can provide incentives, free reports, free bribes, that kind of stuff, and you can drive people out of the group because you can't really harvest an email signature in the group. You can push them to your pages so you get more likes on your pages, and you can push them to a tab in the page where they can, where you've inserted an email capture form where you can get them to fill out their details, in return for which you'll do something like give them a report or you give them a coupon. So let's just say you do a deal with the local coffee shop to get free coffee on Wednesday morning between 7 and 10 a.m. All right, it's a free coffee coupon. Now the local coffee shop will do it because they want people to come into the coffee shop, right? And that you can leverage that by doing a co-promotion with the coffee shop. And then in order to get this coupon, they have to give you their name and email address, and you will email the coupon to them. Right, that's one way to do it. Okay. Other things you can do is you can invite local businesses to add themselves to your local directory. Right, and when they add their local directory, they have to basically opt in through a form which says first name, last name, business, telephone number, email address, submit. Right, so you can start to collect information that way. You will then add that information into some of the files that you include in the group. You can also add that information into your blogs about cool local businesses or recommended local businesses. You can even show the reviews from people, like we saw for ABC babysitting. You can even get reviews from people about what their experience was, so is pet sitting, or what their experience was with ABC pet sitting. So you can see how you can start to harvest email addresses very, very quickly. And the point of harvesting an email address is so that you have an email list that you can build out of your local community so that you can effectively send and communicate with them at any time. Now, if you abuse that privilege, they'll take it away from you. They'll opt out. But if you send real quality information to people, and that they'll be happy to stay involved, they'll know it's from you, they'll recognize you as a local leader and a local community leader. All right, so as an example, you can give away a free report, like the best things to do in your town. You can give away your free real estate reports. Okay, you can give away a calendar of upcoming events. Right, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty easy to do. You can also send friend requests to get people to join your group. You can send it outside of Facebook. So you can use that URL that you were given. So it was Kenosha. So as an example, let's go to the Kenosha forum real quick. And you can see up here, here's the URL right there. So you can send an email to your list of people and invite them to join this forum. Okay? Do you see how easy it is to do that? You can invite them to join this forum. Here's an email address. It's memorable. They click on the link. It'll take them straight through to here where they can apply to join. Pretty simple. So that's a way. So if you're not friends with somebody, this is how you can get other local people into the list. Now, here's what's cool about that. Your partners, let's just take the local insurance broker who has a large local client base with a large local email list. Your partners can send an email through their system to join the new community forum for your town or for your neighborhood. Right? So they can do that in return for which you can give them something inside the group. So you see how you can leverage this again? Okay, you can get everybody in town into this group. All right, you can do direct mail shots. All right, so you can do a direct mail shot inviting everybody to join the group. If you do something like that, so you put like a door hanger on everybody's door, say, hey, there's a new community forum for our town. We'd love you to join. You know, this is it. Put a little incentive in there for them to join. Everybody who joins gets something, right? And it can be information, it can be discounts, coupons, it can be any of that kind of stuff. Okay? You can drop business cards all over the place. So you can put the name over here. You can just put I love, say, Kenosha, and you can put the address on here, can be the address for Kenosha. And you can leave them all over town. So again, you can do a deal with a local supermarket. You can leave these at the checkout, in return for which you will help the supermarket promote their business through the group. Okay, it's a very, very simple exchange. You can put it at the local coffee shop, in return for which you will promote the local coffee shop's Wednesday discount coupon. Okay. Are you starting to see how it's all coming together? Right? You are basically the hub. Now I wanted to show you one other thing real quickly because I really like this, which is, and it's kind of a way around notifications. You can set up events for the group. Okay, so you can set up an event and you can invite everybody in the group to that event. And the cool thing is you can invite all members. So when you set this event up, you can invite all members, and it's effectively a way for you to message everybody in the group through an event. Okay, so that's very, very powerful. So if we just go in, and I'll show you that. Let's just jump into Kenosha again. You can see there's the events folder over there. Here's Ronnie Reed. Please add me to the group. I'll jump to that, Ronnie. But if we go into events, okay, you can create an event. Easy to do. You can invite all members. And once you've invited all the members, okay, you can go ahead and you can actually message the members in there as well. So it's very, very powerful. It's meant specifically for this forum. You can make it wide open to your friends and that kind of stuff, but you really just want to have it inside the group. And it's a very powerful way to meet everybody. But it's also a very powerful way for you to co-opt people in. So let's just say you do something for a local HOA. So say there's a golf course community. There's 1,500 homes in this community. It's a big community. It needs management. You set up a group for them. You bring in the HOA and the management company and get them really active in here. They can set up events in here. So they can say, all right, we're going to have the annual HOA meeting at this date. This is where the proxy documents are. This is where all the HOA documents are stored. So in the file section here, you can add up all the HOA rules. So it's a nice convenient place for people to come into. all right? Or you can create agendas, or you can say this is the the spring day barbecue, and this is what we're going to do. Or we've got the treasure hunt for the kids for this week. You can literally run it out of this group. It's free. It's easy for everybody to enjoy. It's kind of viral in that it reaches out to everybody. It's absolutely perfect in the groups. And of course, you're right in the middle of it. Now, of course, remember, groups work best for sellers from your business point of view because this is local homeowners in here. It doesn't work great for buyers because buyers obviously aren't part of this community quite yet. Okay. Although, of course, a lot of people will be buyers. People will move from one house to another within the same town. All right, my voice is getting a little hoarse there. We're very nearly finished, guys, so we're right near the end here. So I like to use events. It's a great way to incorporate things in. Like I said, just a couple of tick boxes for you there. You can use secret groups for places like HOAs. You can definitely do trade groups. So, for example, the local business association. It's pretty easy to do. And then, of course, you can set up your real estate caravans this way. If you want to network and connect with your local real estate brokers, all right, which a lot of people want to do because, of course, you want to sell your listings through other agents as well, you can definitely use this to set up a local real estate caravan. Okay, and then the final thing I want to tell you, kind of as a power tip, is that there's also a way where you can go in and you can look at other groups. So your own group and other groups, you can actually go in and grab the group members' IDs and you can send Facebook ads to them like crazy so that people, so if there is a large local group in your area already, one way you can market to them is to chuck Facebook ads at them. These ads are pennies per click, so it's really, really cheap. I'm talking about spending, under $10 a day, around about $5 a day actually. You can reach your whole town with these ads, trying to drive people into your groups. So it's a way to get people that aren't friends of yours already and you don't have their email. You can basically target local people and you can drive them into your groups as well by using Facebook ads. That's pretty advanced, but when you get to the Facebook ads portion of the course, which is an REM camp, it sets out exactly how you can do that by grabbing group member IDs, which is pretty cool. All right, guys, so that's basically Facebook groups. I think I've made a very, very clear case to you right now that you can start from scratch today and you can build out these huge groups. Now, we set this up with the Alio program about 18 months ago, and we've got some great vibrant groups. Then we've got a lot of groups where people just really didn't do anything, right? So it's just very, very powerful. We've seen some very, very successful groups out there. I think it's the most powerful thing that you can do this year, and it's free. You can start from scratch today and have thousands of members in there next week. So even if you just go out and you don't have a lot of local friends, and even if you go and make 5 friends who are local rainmakers, you can get them into your groups very, very quickly. Now, you may need to get into your car and drive out and go and see them and physically spend some time discussing their marketing and how you can help each other and what you're doing and how you're doing it. You basically have to get them to buy into your idea, but it's not difficult to do. I've certainly done it. It's very easy to do. And the reason it's easy to do is because they all want what you have. Right? They all want access into the local market. Okay, so Eli, you can cut the recording off right there. For everybody else, I'm going to tell you that the recordings are up in remcamp.com. So if we just quickly jump across, I'll show you, for example, where let's just quickly jump across. I'll go to REM Camp. So last week we looked at making friends. That is up right now. So if you go into REM Camp, and this is the landing page at the front. Let me show you this. If you are a member already, there's a little member login page for you over there. If you're not a member, there's this little sales page. There's a big discount there right now. But if you just log through, it'll take you through into REM Camp. And we're really working hard on the inside of this right now. So REM Camp's basically set up as a secret marketing department for you. So to take a moment there. Let's just see if we can get this in quickly. I'm just logging in real quick, guys. So there we go. Connection's a little slow today. And if we just go to social, this is the back end. Let me just go to the front end so you can see it. And I'll show you exactly where we will load up all the recordings, because a lot of people ask me this all the time. But the recordings, man, this is slow today. So under the social section, under Facebook, for example, last week, first of all the Alio, if you go under social, the Alio stuff is the real practical hands-on stuff. The other stuff is there's a lot more theory in it, but the Alio stuff is just boom, straight to the point, practical. Under Facebook, if you went to Facebook Friends, you can see what I've done is I've taken the recordings that we did last week and I've loaded them up inside the site. Okay, and you can see this is what I recorded last week. I kept it under the Alio brand, and so there's the recording. There's a word book that came with it. Okay, so there's the word book. And finally, there's the PowerPoint slides that I did today. They are all in there, and there's the Facebook training from 2012 on Friends, which we did in mid-2012. This is basically the 2013 update that we did on that. But within Alio, it's within our REM camp, and that we've got the advertising in terms of Trulia, Zillow. We're trying to add Craigslist right now. I really need some help with Craigslist though. We've got Facebook advertising. So all the Facebook ad stuff that I told you about is in here. There's some very cool stuff. All the blogging stuff is in there, all the social stuff. Next month we're going to be doing video, so there'll be video in July. So we're going to be doing a month of video. We'll add all of that in here, and then we'll be doing a month of mobile marketing in August. So that's kind of where we are. There's obviously a lot of stuff in here already, and you know, that's basically the whole Alio program in there. So really what I want to give you in the back here is it's a membership site, so you have to pay to join. And I want to make sure everything you need, particularly for online marketing, I'm going to have it in here for you. That's the goal behind REM Camp, just so you guys know. If you just go to remcamp.com right now, you will be able to get the easy links back in. There's the member login. So if you're a member already, you can log in there. If you're not a member here, you can go through, just click on the bottom there. It's remcamp.com/VIP. And it's actually a sales page. And membership is, like I said, here's how you join REM Camp and get your own real estate marketing thing. Like I said, I promise to build the best real estate marketing site our industry's ever seen. I'm absolutely committed to this, guys. What will happen is if you just go down to the bottom of the page, there's two options here. Option number one is $27 a month. You can come in, you can download anything that's in there. Obviously, there's new stuff all the time in there. So again, I want to be your marketing department for $27. It's a pretty good deal, right? Or there is a lifetime option, and that lifetime option I've decided will go at the end of June. That lifetime option is $197. It's normally $297, but there is a $100 discount in there. I do hope that you will join us and you will be able to access all the recordings in there at this time. Next week, we're going to cover Facebook pages. Now, Facebook pages is very complicated in that there's a lot of stuff that we want to do around tabs. I'm going to show you how to add lead pages to tabs so you can literally go in and get people to come to your page. On the page, I'll show you this. I'll show you something real quick so you can see it. So let's just say we went to, let's go to the NIWAT page, something we're just playing around with right now. I'm going to show you how you can add your real estate into the page, like your IDX. Actually, I don't want the group. This is just the group that we set up. You know, I have a unique problem, which is that my profile of friends is set up as real estate brokers for my social media business. I haven't set up my profile for local people, and you know, now that's hurting my real estate business. I'm not too happy about that. But basically what we've done is I'm going to show you how to do things like this. So for example, set up reports so that people can download your reports. So this is basically a tab on the page. where I can go and I can capture people's email addresses. I'm going to show you how to set that up. We're going to create templates for you for your pages so that people can download real estate reports, cool things to do locally reports. I mean, you name it. Local businesses report, best places to eat, you know, anything you want. We're setting the templates up for that so you can add it. I'm going to show you how to do that next week. And then in 2 weeks from now, what we'll do is we'll just add in the, we'll do an REM camp actually, is what we're going to do. So we'll get some cool outside people to kind of come in and get some Facebook experts to share this kind of stuff with you, kind of take your business to the next level. All right, guys, so if you need to join Alio, there's the link right there, remcamp.com/VIP. There is a huge discount on it right now, so you have to move pretty quickly on that. It will go away soon. If it's not quite in your budget, then just go in and grab a month's worth of stuff. They'll give you a month to go through everything. At the very least, you'll be able to go and access all the Facebook training, which we're doing through the month of June. Okay, I'm going to grab questions now. Let's have a look. I'll go right to the end of the questions and come back. All right. Oh, guys, won't you do one thing? Please do one thing for me. Please go to my personal profile, and let's just go to Ross Hare. So facebook.com/Ross Hare. Please send me a friend request, number 1. And please answer my question about auction.com. If you've done any work with him, I really want to give them some stuff. Thank you, Kathy. That's very nice. I appreciate that. Okay, there's 6 comments there. Guys, let's get some more comments in here. Even if the answer is no and you haven't worked with them, just write no. Okay, so it's great. I want to basically get your feedback on that. You know, there's definitely a mixed bag review. Thank you, Beverly. I appreciate that. So let me give you a little like there. That's cool. Beverly Hanson, who just wrote. Pat, it's all cool. All right, so please just write that there for me. I really appreciate it. Facebook.com/Ross Hare. And if you are still on the REM Camp page, I think we answered asked a little question there. I'll get back to the questions right now, guys. Let's just quickly close that off. Cool, man. We got through that in just over an hour. Okay, on the REM Camp page, and that if you can give me some feedback on this training, if you were on the call and that and you want to give some feedback, if there's something that you think we missed, why don't you just point it, or if you were just on the call, just let me know. And that, you know, one of the things I'm trying to do is boost my cloud score. I got so irritated with it, so if you post anything there, that helps my cloud score. I appreciate that very much. It's morons at cloud, stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, all right, guys, let me hit some questions here. All right, let's go. Melanie, everybody that bought lead pages, I'm going to send out. I just got the list. I'm going to send out the bonuses. I sent it to most people, by the way, but there was some updated stuff. I'm going to send that to Melanie. I'm going to get that to you. Mike Heckland, thank you. You just friended me. I'm going to accept that friend request. I appreciate that. I said, here's the cool thing about friend requests. There we go. Who sent me a friend? There we go, Mike. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Leslie. Look at everybody there. I appreciate that. I'm going to accept those friend requests. It's going to be super cool. Okay. The one thing about friends is once you get to about 500-600 friends, even less than that, friend requests start pouring in the other way because people see you all the time. It makes things so much easier. All right. So if you go and look at last week's training on friends, that's what I'm referring to specifically. Right. All right. So thank you, Mike. I'll accept everybody else's request, by the way. Let's see. John Carr doesn't know who auction.com is. They used to be REDC, and they have thousands of, they just have this huge inventory. So of course, when I see one place with so much inventory, I'm interested in finding out how I can make some commission out of that inventory. All right. Hey, Dino, you remember, I know that already. Melanie, that'll come to you. Great. Thank you very much, Pat. Thank you, John. Doug Osgood, this stuff is huge. Doug, this stuff is incredibly huge. There's nothing like this. All right? Just think what it takes to get connected to 5,000 people outside of Facebook, like normally. It just takes you forever to do that. You can do inside a week, you can be dominating your local market with this. Isn't that crazy? Okay. That goes good. Doug, hey Doug, just go to remcamp.com and just click on that members link. It'll get you in, and hit the forgot password if you don't have it anymore. Here's a great question from Donna Clayton Lloyd. Do you recommend several smaller groups that are specifically target, or one group to focus on in the beginning? I think you should start one group at a time, because you'll learn a lot in the process. Like I said, I think neighborhoods are about the perfect size. You really want to end up with groups with a maximum of a few thousand people. All right, so if you have a neighborhood with 5,000 people in, that's huge, right? If you're in a town, I'm in a town with 4,000 people, so it's really easy for me to do it. For example, if I set up for a town in a city with 100,000, I would definitely probably break it down into much smaller areas. And remember, you can do it by interest, by location. If you find, for example, like I said, again, I'll tell this story. I had a good friend who worked in the law firm with me. We went to law school together. He left law to do financial services because he had a financial services license. And what he did is that he used to drive cars. And he had this old Porsche that he used to drive. He'd go down to the racetrack for the Porsche Club. They'd drive around it. And next thing he knew, he was writing all this financial services business for all these guys who drove around in Porsches, right? They were business owners and CEOs and that kind of stuff. And he got all this tremendous business out of them. In fact, he was writing benefit plans and health plans for them. And he left law. He left the firm. He was making too much money in financial services. So guess what he did? He bought a Ferrari. So then he joined the Ferrari club, and he did exactly the same thing all over again. And then he bought a Gulfstream. And so that's basically, he just went to wherever he saw the wealth. He bought the toy that everybody uses, and he became part of that inner circle. So you can do the same thing. So if there's a yacht club, a golf club, if it's the cattle barons, well, not that they'd be on Facebook, of course. We've got to understand we're dealing with Facebook here. Right? The cattle barons are probably not going to be hanging out on Facebook. But basically it's anything to do with interests. If people are interested in a certain thing, if people are interested in fine watches, it can be anything. But of course you want local interests, because that is what's going to drive local business. So if you're in a ski resort, it's so easy to set up a ski group, right? Where people can meet, people can do stuff. I mean, it's really that simple, right? You've just got to apply your mind to what happens locally in your area. In the Boulder area, it's runners. I mean, we have most incredible athletes around here. I see them every day. I see the world champions running down the road. And I say every day, but just about every day, right? Okay, let's see what else we got. Smaller groups are good. Bill White, Facebook Traffic ID was the tool. It does not work. Facebook banned it, not before I grabbed all the lists that I needed. There are other tools out there right now, and I'm building a tool as we speak. I'm going to put it into the member section. Okay. How do you find lists of groups? Pretty easy. Just go into Facebook at the top and just do a search. So if I go, here's REM Camp. Let's do groups in Boulder. That's the new graph search. I still think it's a bit buggy, but look at all these groups that are here. CU classes, that's the University of Colorado. Yeah, class of 2017, wow. All right, all these little groups. So that's how you do a quick search. Pretty easy to find. Okay, let's find some more questions. in settings for groups, do you recommend all posts be approved by the admin initially? No, it's too much work, Joanne. So it's just too much work, but you have to be on top of it and moderate it. So one thing I'll show you is, let's just jump back into the Kenosha group. Was my Kenosha. I mean, Robin Crocker is doing great work, by the way, locally, so it's very cool. So if you go into like the Kenosha group as an example, see the notifications over here. If you click on them, okay, mine are off, but you can change it to all posts. So now if you look at my notifications, I'm getting everything that happens. So if somebody writes in, I can see it immediately. So if I'm basic here and I see somebody spamming the group, you have to act on it quickly. Okay, I have my notifications off simply because I don't need to do anything with Robin right now. She's completely in charge of this, and Robin will be. I know Robin. She'll get this into, after today, she'll get 2,000 people into this group. She's not going to die wandering. I can promise you that. All right, let's see what else. Let me just pull up another. That's pages. Let me pull up another group. Here's the Ledyard group. This is not my group. It's Linda Davis's group, but you can see she's got a thriving, vibrant group. There's 847 people in here. It's just an excellent group. I got to tell you, she does a wonderful job in here. And in the REM camp, actually, there's a training where we interviewed her about how she runs this group. Look for that under the Facebook group section. Also look for that under the SMM camp recordings in there. But this one, other group, I remember, I just want to grab one group real quickly, which is for, I know Colette was doing a lot of great work in Hilton Head. It's, where is it? I mean, the real estate groups, as an example, are fantastic, right? Now, just think about this. Mike McClure and Chris Smith and Jimmy Mackin have all set up real estate groups. Why do you think they did that? Right? It's because they want to meet the real estate community, okay? So that's definitely stuff that works really, really well. Of course, it does it by the last time you were in, so I haven't been to some of these groups for a while because obviously I'm not very active in those areas. Let's just take this one. Okay, it's a small group. Here's Colette, and that Colette's starting to get great engagement in the group. Okay, it's just simple stuff, you know. It's real easy to do. There's no reason to have only 128 members though. And then, of course, it's a process. You need to get friends first and add people, but I've just shown you some tremendous shortcuts to the groups. Okay, let's see what else we can do. Kathy says this is so much fun to watch. It's true, Kathy. See, Kathy, Kathy does a lot of virtual assistance work. You see how easy it would be for you to set up a local group for real estate agents. Imagine if you're a mortgage broker and you want to get business from real estate agents. Now imagine you're a real estate agent. Who do you want to get business from? Okay, how do you download and upload email lists from other sites like LinkedIn to use for your groups? So the limitation on the groups is you can see it's simple. You can invite by email one by one, so it's one by one, and you can't add up lists, or you can simply add people in simply by typing in, and it'll give you a list of your friends. So for example, here's Marcy James, Mark Benson, Jimmy Mackin. All right, so I can add any of these people into the groups pretty easily, okay? And that's who's on the call today? Kathy's on the call. So you can just add people in. So there we go. Kathy, I could add you into, sorry, I'm in the Hilton Head Island group. I was going to add you into the Kenosha group because you're just around the corner, right? Okay, so it's pretty easy to do. It's just one by one, unfortunately. Except, super tip, there's a script out there. Just do a search for it. I can't recommend it to you because Facebook doesn't like it. Okay, do you want a page or a group or both? And the answer is both. They have very different functions now though. The groups tend to be very interactive. People tend to communicate, they have conversations, they engage in the groups. You can see the format is pretty simple. All right, and then what happens though, on the pages, they've become like notice boards. All right, and in terms of notice boards, It's because people, the individual posters tend to get invisible on the pages these days. People tend to like and leave. How do you delete a group if you want to change the address? To delete the group, Beverly, you have to actually get rid of all of the members. You first remove all the members. You would do that over here, and you would just go in, and so here's Brad McDonald. Oh, that's why Brad wrote that, the word dude, because he's the publisher of Dude. That makes sense now. Let's go. So you could just go and you just remove from group. Once you've removed all the members, as soon as the last member is gone, that's you, Facebook will delete the group. How do you develop a unique URL? That's pretty simple. So what happens is I can't show you exactly because this already has a unique URL, but if you just, there's the little cog there, which is for settings. You see it? You click on the cog, you just go in here and you hit edit group. Okay, on the group settings, what will happen is where it says this email address here, the group address, it'll actually say set the group address, so there'll be nothing there, right? Okay, and so what happens is you can then set the group address. So in this case, it's my Hilton Head is the group address, right? And you know, obviously, if you can get your town name, that's perfect. But in most cases, the town name is gone, by the way, just so you know that. So if you get my Hilton Head, then what it'll do is it'll automatically create this. So this is facebook.com/groups/ and then that's the name actually there. So you can see there it is right there. So that's how you do it. It's inside the settings. That's how you get to the settings. Let's see if we can grab any more questions. Yeah, we've still got a couple of hundred people on the call, so we'll answer some more questions. Once you have named your group, can it ever be changed, or do you need to be sure to get it right the first time? Once you've named it, that's pretty much it. So when you name it at the top, that's fine. It's when you set that email address that you've pretty much locked it in. Okay, so you can give it any name. You can change this name here. I think you can change this name. No, you can't change the name. Once you've named, so A, there's the name, and then B, there's the unique URL and group address. They're two separate things, so, and they can be different. Okay, is it wise to use a name like 365 Things to Do in San Francisco Valley versus the name of the city? I think you want to make it as easy as possible for people to remember. All right, so I used, in many cases, like I said, we have 500 groups here, right? So in most cases, we just used the name of the town where it was available. Where it wasn't available, then we used something like My Hilton Head to make it feel like a community. So when somebody emails in, they say My Hilton Head at groups.facebook.com, you let people know they can communicate with the groups like this. So as you can imagine, if there's something like a tornado warning, and it's like tornado is barreling down on your town, you can easily from your cell phone post a message to the group telling everybody it's coming, right? And that, or especially when there's some critical stuff that's happening, an Amber Alert, just something that's kind of real critical. That's okay. All right, so let's go. What else? My community forum is growing daily. Amy Pulis. Let's go to Amy. So let's go to groups. See if I can find Amy in Awatuki. All right, so here's the Awatuki Community Forum. I know Amy's been putting some real attention into this. Awatuki Foothills is a smallish community just outside of Phoenix. Amy Pools, or Dr. Amy Pools runs this. Okay, so she was part of our Alio group, so we set this up. And you can see that Amy is starting to really kind of tap into everything, right? And actually she's a great model to follow. In actual fact, if I go to, let's see, Awatuki, I think, is that the page? It was Awatuki 365. Yeah, that's the page. Okay, So Amy's also jumped up. She's got 1,300 likes on this page. All right, and it gets nice traffic, very nice traffic actually. And then, or we go, there's something like pages in, so I can show you the difference. Outer banks. I think this is Bill's page. Yeah. So I say Bill's page. So Bill and I have this page for the Outer Banks, and you can see on the Outer Banks. All right, so we've got 4,700 fans on this page now. And Bill, I say we, Bill's done all the work on it. It's been phenomenal. But you can see what Bill does. His strategy, which is really cool, is he actually just shares pictures from local artists and photographers. It's really cool, actually, what he does. And people engage with that. But it's more like a posting than a forum. So you see the difference? It's like one's like a forum where people communicate, they comment, they engage, they ask questions. It's all pretty cool. And the other one is really, we're using a lot of visible pictures on this, which of course is very cool. All right, so that's the difference between the two. Let's just see what else we can pick up. I'll take two more questions. Coco, in the San Fernando Valley, 5 or 6 cities that we operate in. If the cities are small, do a page for each city, do a community for each city. But what I would recommend to you, again, start with one, work out the kinks, right? Work out the one that you're in, go and find your rainmakers in the one, almost launch it so that you get a lot of buzz about it quickly and it'll run. If you have to keep feeding the content in yourself, it becomes just a little bit too much work. Okay. Wayne Harriman has set up a group. I'm just going to quickly copy and paste this. Let's see that. Let's quickly do that, Wayne. So Wayne set up for Wellington, Connecticut. Okay. So Wayne's got 1,800 members. He has it set up as an open group. He's pinned the post to the top, which is fantastic. Okay. Yeah, this is great, Wayne. I can see people are communicating. You need to, Wayne, one thing I have to tell you straight away is you need to put in one of those real simple questions that people can answer, that they want to answer. You know, so I don't know. So you're in Connecticut. You could post something that said, let's make something real simple here. You could say, so you're in Connecticut, so you probably Patriots fans, right? And you could say, what do you think about Tim Tebow joining the Patriots? And what will happen is you'll get a lot of opinions real quick, right? So everybody who's religious will give you an opinion. Everybody who likes football and particularly likes the Patriots will give you an opinion. Just real simple stuff. The one thing I didn't cover actually, guys, which is great to know, you see you can put a nice timeline picture in here now, so you can use this timeline picture, which is great. So thanks, Wayne. I forgot about that you can set a great timeline picture. Great tip. So this is a great picture. I mean, this is a great sense of community. It's if you're from Wallingford, you'd clearly identify with these landmarks and know that this is kind of about you and your community. Okay. So that's cool, Wayne. I mean, it looks great. Here's your business directory, independent college counseling and advising. That's cool. So I don't even know who Aaron is, Wayne, but that's cool. Okay. So you see how people can start to collaborate. I mean, you're doing a great job in here, Wayne. You can absolutely knock this out the park. So here's Wayne. So I can see that Wayne is. See, so I'm not an administrator on this page. Here's Wayne. Wayne set this up 7 months ago, and you can see as soon as people look at who do they see first, they see Wayne, they know who he is. He's at Harriman Real Estate, and they can see his profile just like that. Okay, great job, Wayne. I mean, if there's any other realtor on this call from Wallingford, I got bad news for you. Wayne just stole your lunch. Okay, Amy, the 10 best plan. Okay, I'll sort that out for you. You're welcome, Wayne. Carly Grace. Can't really change the name, Carly, but the 365 things to do as a group is fine. You know, if you've got 210 people in, you could either start again, or you could just use the group as it is. I like that community forum feel about it, so we've named it very specifically. We named our pages. We did a lot of the 365 things to do in the pages, because people, you know, we're not trying to be on pages. We're not trying to be the local newspaper, right? That's not our job. We just want to have something which will catch people's attention, even if it's just once, and then of course we'll try and get them to convert them into a contact, right? Get their contact details. So Carly, I don't know if I would start again. That's kind of like a tough one. You've got 210 people in there, but honestly, if it's not a very active group, maybe you can start again. All right, Amy, how do you make the header like Wallingford? Let's just grab let's go back. It's pretty cool. Let me just go back to Amy's group. Actually, let's just go back on this one. Okay. That's your page. Let me just go back one more to the group. No, that's the page. Here we go. So right now, this is the bureau. If I go up here, see that, Amy? It's up on the top right here. You can upload a photo, and so you can change that. So that, that's an interesting one. Actually, I need to think about that a little bit, because, guess what happens? And so, for example, Wayne's put a great picture up here, which I like. But also, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 members' faces appear there. And guess what happens? When people post and then they realize that their face will end up there, people like that. They like people to see their face all the time. So you can mix it up a little bit. I mean, so you can, alternately, you can bring in your picture, you can choose from group photos, you can upload a photo, you can do a whole bunch of things in here. So you could change it, boom, you could do it real easy. And that, but maybe you want to keep people's faces up there as well. So just mix it up a little bit. People love recognition, right? We're in the real estate industry. We thrive on recognition. Let's see anything else. All right, let me grab one more question. Suggestions for areas where there are so many social media outlets and lots of activity. This is Arlene Baxter. I'm in Berkeley, California, where there are millions of things to do all the time. Yeah, so it's real easy to basically just create a little community forum. Berkeley is a reasonable sized city, so you maybe even want to go smaller than that. You may even want to do it on an activity basis, right? It's pretty easy to do. You definitely want to do a kind of things to do kind of page where for the page, just something about things to do in the area. That's real easy to do. Remember, with a page, you're almost trying to catch people's attention once and grab their details. If you can get them to do more than that, that's fantastic. But people tend to touch the pages once and go. With groups, they will come back again and again and again. In fact, they'll keep coming back until you chase them away with groups. That's one of the big differences. You'll chase them away if you spam or you put irrelevant comments in there. All right, so I mean, just what we've said today, just follow that simple formula. Just keep it real simple. It's not rocket science for these guys. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it off there. I do hope that you will join REM Camp. If you join REM Camp, then I will be able to help you with your pages and help you with your groups, which is what we do in there, which is pretty cool. You also get access to the exact step-by-step modules that we did with Alia when we set everything up originally. So all of that's documented in there. You'll be able to just go in and grab that. It's already in there. We are doing a 2013 update, but the principles are very similar. Very little hasn't changed around this in the last year, by the way. which is just amazing since Facebook changes so much. I think it's the greatest thing that you can do in terms of stuff. So go to remcamp.com. VIP gives you the details of what's in there. That's the sign-up page. Or the recordings, just go to remcamp.com. If you remember already, the recordings are there. Guys, thanks very much. That was awesome.